Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Hanging with the Elderlies. I am your host and the founder of Hanging with the Elderlies, Felicia Phillips. It's been a while, and here I am in the laundry room again, doing laundry, and I thought I would come on and talk to you guys. I am in between makeup and hair. I did something earlier, and then I've been just moving around and doing chores, and I didn't change out of my clothes, and my makeup is a little whatever you want to call it, but it appears that I always seem to have time to talk to you guys when I'm doing laundry. So I'm going to do that again. So again, it's been a while since we have connected, and things are just going. Things are just going. I think that I'm in a space right now where God is just truly working with me and helping me to come to terms with where I am right now in this season in my life as a caregiver. And so I have to think about what I'm actually going to name this video when I post it, but I think that's where I am. It really took the past year or so for me to think about everything that my family was faced with, everything that I was faced with personally, and my family as well over the past year. And so I wanted to share some of those reflections with you while I get some laundry done. So the elderlies, I'm behind on their laundry, and oh gosh, and somebody forgot to empty the laundry. So before I can do their laundry, I have to take out these clothes. I used to be able to tell whose clothes were whose. This looks like my daughter, Caitlin's. Sometimes I can't tell if it's Caitlin's clothes or if it's Kyra's clothes now that they're both older. So, it has come to this, and I have to talk to you while I'm doing other things. But, albeit, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. In fact, let me see if I can move you to a different space. Maybe, maybe not. Where else can I put you? Over here? All right, that looks good. So, for those of you who are new to me, I'll just give you a quick synopsis of who I am and what Hanging with the Elderly is about. So I'm a caregiver for my mother and my father. My father has Parkinson's. He's 73 years old. And my mother has a host of chronic conditions, as well as early stages of vascular dementia. And so I've been a caregiver since around about January of 2017. And in August of 2019, my parents and I relocated from Philadelphia to Georgia so that we could integrate our homes and so that I could focus on them and getting them situated and caring for them, helping to improve their health, etc. And so I created Hanging with the Elderlies because I wouldn't say every year, but I actually feel like it's getting better. Am I blind? Oh, I just realized that I'm missing a blind there. My outside window. Anyway, I get distracted. My first 3 years, I said since 17. So the past 3 years have just been a whirlwind of just trying to get everything situated and trying to adjust to my new normal. And, long before COVID and the pandemic and wearing masks and hand sanitizer and social distancing and everybody adjusting to the new normal of living in a pandemic, I have been adjusting to the new normal of being a caregiver, of parenting the parent. And I know some people don't like that phrase, but the reality is that's what it is. When I have to fix your food, tell you what to eat, wash your clothes, tell you to bathe, tell you to go to bed, monitor what you're watching on TV, when I have to do all of those things, then I become the parent. When I have to make all of the decisions, then I become the parent. And so it is a difficult thing to parent your parents. It is difficult mentally, it is difficult physically, and it's difficult emotionally. And I oftentimes fall into a rut when I'm dealing with the emotional aspect of it. When I have to handle business that that screams out, you're in charge and your parents are deteriorating. That is an emotional drain on me. Right now, we have a lot of things going on with my parents. And as I'm trying to work through the business side of things, the emotions just overtake me. Some days I just want to crawl under my pillow, under my blanket, and I want to let somebody else do it. I don't want to be the decision maker. It's sort of like, with funerals, right? Or homegoing ceremonies, homegoing services, whatever it is that you call it. That is the one time where nobody wants to be on the front row. We pay. The front row means that you have access. It means that you are a VIP. We pay big money to be on the front row in every other scenario, but nobody ever wants to be on the front row at that funeral or at that homegoing ceremony. And so every time I have to make a decision for my parents, every time I have to handle business for my parents, it reminds me that I'm that person. It reminds me that I'm now responsible for them and that I have to help them to make the right decisions. And that is just a lot to deal with at times. There's some days that I'm like, I'm good. God has graced me for the task and I'm going to get it done. And then there are other days where I'm just like, why do I have to make the decisions? Can somebody else make this decision? I don't want to be the one to make the decision. I don't want to be in this space. It's a reminder, my God, first I'm doing this, and the next thing you know, I'm going to be burying them. And maybe I'm being dramatic, but that's where my mind goes. When I think every new thing that I have to handle for them, to me, is like, oh, they're deteriorating there. There's more deterioration. They're coming to the close of their life, and I have to deal with this. And so it's been a challenge, but I will say you have to give yourself time. If you are a new caregiver, if you're fairly new to caregiving, you have to give yourself time and you have to give yourself grace. And I say that out of experience. Although we've been caregivers for my parents since 2017, they just started living with us, or we just started living together a year ago. And so in all reality, everything that I've experienced over the past year, it has been the adjustment of having my parents, live closer. I moved them out of their home into an apartment that was closer to my house before we relocated to Georgia. And, I thought we're already doing it. We're already caregivers, but living in the same space is a completely different bear. Before, even though I was responsible for them, they were still doing things somewhat independently, and we were just close by to help. Honestly, it was at the moment that they moved closer to us and that we saw what was going on up close and personal that we realized that they did need more help than what we initially imagined. And so we knew we had to put together a plan. We had to put a plan in place in order to really provide the help and the support that they needed. But again, at that time, we could drop by the house, look and see that their clothes are dirty. They're not washing their clothes, for instance, and tell them to wash their clothes, or get laundry detergent, or we could see that the house was a little messy and we could clean up. Real talk, I ain't clean up anything. My husband would clean up, but we're a team, right? So we could clean up. We could drop groceries off and do those things. And then when our parents were getting on my nerves, or I was tired or frustrated or whatever, guess what? I could go home. But when you live with the people, you can't do that. And so it has been an adjustment to be in a space where I could have a disagreement with my parents, or just be frustrated, or just want to be by myself, or just want to have time with my husband by myself, or whatever, and go home. Whereas now, every morning they're here. Every morning they need breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Every morning they need help with things. Once a week or so, I have to do these clothes. If I don't wash the clothes, they don't get washed. Or if I don't, my mother can actually wash the clothes, but she has some challenges with, I guess, sort of like problem solving, critical thinking at times. It's funny where it shows up. But even when she was back at the apartment, I would ask her to sort the clothes, and then I would come and wash them or take them to a laundry service or whatever. And she could never even do that. Someone would have to sit there with her and help her to sort the clothes. So my mother can do the clothes, but sometimes it's a matter of, if I have to sit here and walk you through everything step by step, I might as well do it myself. So what happens is they actually will start wearing clothes that are not clean. Not that they're trying to be purposely nasty or, not being clean or what have you, but they, they're trying to get dressed and they look and they see that they don't have anything. And so they just grab something. Sometimes clothes that are dirty that should have gone in the laundry basket have gone back in the drawer or in the closet. Sometimes they may be in the basket, but again, they're standing there like, well, I don't have anything else to wear. So what are my options? Interestingly enough, some things they ask for and some things they don't. I always find that strange as well. And that, I'm talking now for those of you that are dealing with individuals that may have some type of, my battery's about to die, that may have some type of cognitive impairment, right? So, they will be Johnny on the spot. Let me just adjust this really quickly. They will be Johnny on the spot when it comes to food. Like, we need to eat, I'm hungry. They'll ask for food, but as an example, they won't say, hey, Fee, my clothes are dirty, our clothes are dirty, can you wash a load of clothes or something like that. So rather than come to me in the same way that they say, Fee, what time is dinner or what time is lunch, they won't come to me and say, hey, we are out of clothes, we are out of clean clothes. And so I have to stay on top of it. I don't know where she got this pen from. I have to stay on top of it and really help them with that. And so it's been an adjustment. It has been an adjustment. So I guess the message for you guys today is just give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. When I look back at the past year and I think about everything that we've gone through, and I think about some of the big blow-ups and the arguments that I've had with my mother, that my children have had, primarily with my mother. She's the one. I'm really blessed that we're in this space now. The past 6 weeks or so, we've been in a really amazing space where, of course, I certainly get frustrated and I get tired, but I'm really appreciative. And I'm actually beginning to, once again, not all the time, but enjoy time with my mother. Enjoy talking to her. Enjoy sort of being a daughter. Not quite the way that I would like, at this age and this stage, and not the way that I imagined, but I have moments now where I can be a daughter and just enjoy my mother's time. Whereas before it was just really task. I got to do this, got to do this, got to do that. Another change that I've talked about before, as I bring this to a close, is that my father needs a whole lot more care now. And so my mother has stepped up to be able to do that, to offer that care. And it's been a blessing. And so I think that now she's feeling the brunt of helping to care for my father, and, whole big picture sees everything that I've been tasked to do. And so she is more of a partner with me in care. So I care for them big picture, their finances and bills and all of those things, shopping, groceries, clothes. She helps day to day with my dad, just getting him bathed and getting him dressed, which is huge. But we're working as partners. And I think that we found a rhythm. And so I'm actually happy with where things are, and I'm really blessed, and just want to encourage you, if you are facing this right now, be encouraged. You will get through, you will find your rhythm. You have to be flexible though, because things change, and I'll tell you how things change.